Hi guys, welcome to my garden. Girls, those are my new babies up there. They kind of hang out together. On my calendar, my PDF, you need at least 4,500K. I keep my lights on, experiment and starting them in weekly. Hi guys, welcome to my garden. I believe it's December 15th in Cleveland, Ohio. It is about 17 degrees. Everything is covered. I try to be very intentional on coming out here because it's freezing. But I need to check on the eggs to make sure I collect them before they freeze. Looks like Rosie just got done laying, hopefully. Hey, Rosie. Hey, girls. Those are my new babies up there. They kind of hang out together. Here is my egg. Hi friends, I am back indoors. It's super cold outside, so I try to be as intentional as I can be with my ventures outside. Like I said, I am here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's about 17 degrees here. So I try to get in and out as quickly as I can. I came here to share with you my process and planning of my seed starting because we are coming on to that season very quickly. So I wanted to share with you a couple things. What I do is I will go on around this time, I will go on to Google and I'll print out a PDF of a monthly calendar. And it's just a blank calendar. It's free. I start my season in December, so I start with printing out December of the current year, and I'll go through December of the following year. You usually won't use the last few months of the year. Usually my planting and gardening season is wrapping up around Thanksgiving or so. But anyway, that's a resource that I definitely use this from year to year. I print out a new one. I also go to Old Farmer's Almanac and I print out their planting calendar. If you go to their website, at the top of the screen, you click on planting calendar and put in your zip code. It will automatically spit out input information on your first and last frost dates of your zip code. Once you do that, it will give you this calendar. This calendar has 90% of the seeds that you will be starting indoors for your area. So I'll give you an example. And the vegetables and fruits come in alphabetical order. And I print this out every year, and it'll be interesting to see how things change from year to year. I'm just looking at the previous ones that I've printed out for the last few years. I keep them there to use as a reference as well. But for instance, I go in and I look at each page, and this helps me plan not only with seed starting, but what seeds I need to purchase and what seeds I have. So I go in and I print this out. I highlight what vegetables and fruit I want to start for the following season. And in there, on that same line, it will give you the date to a date range actually to start the seeds, and then a date range to plant them out. Really, really good resource. So I'll take this information from here. So I'll take basil, for instance. It says start March 21st. I will go to March on my calendar, my PDF blank calendar. I'll go to March, and then I will put here, start beets this week. Again, this is just a rough estimate. Start basil this week. You don't have to go, follow this hard and fast, but it's a really good estimate. What I do also is I will go and look at other mentors that I have in my area. And it's really important for you to follow things that's in your area, because if you're following the advice of someone who's starting seeds in California, that's a vast difference in last frost dates and first frost dates even. So with that being said, find a mentor in your area. It's a lot of them here on YouTube. And I also use my own experience. Not everything on the internet is going to be customized for your area, but you can use them as guidelines. So I use that. I put that information in this calendar, and I keep this calendar here on my desk so that when I am starting seeds, I can stick to a specific date range, and I can stay organized. Really, really good resource, guys. I cannot speak highly enough of these two resources for planting. So with that being said, I am going to be starting my onion seeds here in December. One of the really good mentors for Ohio area is Growfully with Jenna here on YouTube. She has information. She has actually onion starting guides on her playlist. She starts her onions at the end of December or the beginning of January, and she plans on planting them out mid-March, which is what most people in Zone 6, specifically Cleveland area, Northeast Ohio area as well, what we do. Onions and potatoes typically are planted out around St. Patrick's Day. That's not a hard and fast, because if the ground is not workable, you can't do it. But that's typically what we do. So that is what I'm aiming for when I am starting my seeds early. So that will give them about 12 to 14 weeks, depending on when I start them, to grow inside. During that process of growing inside, I will trim them down, keep them short and stout, and my goal is to have them as close to pencil thick as possible when it's time to plant them outside mid-March. I also want to quickly share with you my grow space. Hang on. All right, guys, this is my seedling starting area. This is my utility rack that I purchased from Menards. I don't use grow lights per se. I actually use utility shop lights. I purchased these from Amazon. You can get them from Harbor Freight. You can get them from Walmart. You don't necessarily have to spend the money on grow lights. Grow lights can be extremely expensive. These shop lights you can get for 15 or 20 bucks. You just have to make sure that they are at least 4,500 Kelvin LED lights. These in particular are Sunco from Amazon. They are 6,000 K. And that is what's needed for growing seedlings, and for seedlings to germinate inside. You need at least 4,500 K. I keep my lights on anywhere from 12 to 16 hours. I do have them on a timer. It's Christmas time. You can get timers for $5 now. I also use these fans. The fans, I got them from Amazon for like $10. You want to make sure you have adequate air circulation for your seedlings, and when it's time for them to grow up, you want to allow for some type of movement to mimic the wind, so that the stems are, stronger when it's time for them to go outside. That is the gist of my setup. Very affordable. It does not have to be expensive. I also have this Mylar sheet, not needed at all, but that helps just keep the light within this area. This is a common area that I have my seed starting set up in, and it just helps pushes the light back. If you all have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to shoot me a message or leave down below in the comment section, and I'll try my best to stay on top of answering that. I do plan on taking you all with me when I start my seeds. I'm going to do an experiment and starting them in weekly increments as far as my onions, and I'll take you on the journey with me. I will be starting some onions this coming Wednesday.